Hello, this is the third in a series of short videos spotlighting treasures from the rare books collection of the University of Mary Washington. Today, we look at a first U.S. edition of Mary Wollstonecraft's A Vindication of the Rights of Woman, a proto-feminist work of political philosophy from 1792. This pioneering work by British author Mary Wollstonecraft argues for the right of women to an equal education. In revisionist alignment with the humanist ideals of the Enlightenment, Wollstonecraft acknowledges the claim that women are beholden to sensibilities over reason, yet she attributes this condition to a poor education rather than to a natural design. She advocates for education aimed at achieving the human potential of women, including into better thinkers, mothers, and companions in marriage. She offers fearless critiques of leading intellectuals of the day, including Jean-Jacques Rousseau, whose state of nature philosophy she opposes by calling for the careful cultivation of the mind. Toward the end of A Vindication of the Rights of Woman, she writes, quote, "To render mankind more virtuous and happier, of course, both sexes must act for the same principle. But how can that be expected when only one is allowed to see the reasonableness of it?" This sentence carries Wollstonecraft's typical mixture of philosophical postulation and sharp political invective. The first edition of a book marks the work's original appearance in history, the first time the volume makes an impact on the world. This is the first U.S. edition of A Vindication of the Rights of Women, printed at the Faust's Statue bookstore at Newbury Street in Boston in 1792. The title page gives us the ID points for year, place, and publisher, an insignia denoting Faust's Statue bookseller, and headlining Chapter 1, acts as a birth certificate for this copy. The iconic suffragist Susan B. Anthony owned the same edition of this book in a nearly identical leather binding. It now resides at the Library of Congress. Our copy has extensive bibliographical annotations on the front and rear end papers from an enthusiastic 19th century reader. So what makes this first edition of Wollstonecraft's book different from a paperback or a plain text digital version? I would like to share two answers to this question today. This printed book is a living and breathing document of a time before women secured the right to study and learn alongside men. Specifically, the 1792 U.S. First Edition is a bridge between the political turmoil of the French Revolution, which had broken out 3 years earlier in 1789, and Boston as intellectual capital of New England in the years following the War of Independence. The first acknowledged American novel in English is William Hill Brown's The Power of Sympathy from 1789. Also published in Boston, Brown's book dramatizes the theme of women's education, a hot-button topic of the day in light of women's prescribed role as mothers of the new American Republic. Although originating in England, Wollstonecraft's A Vindication of the Rights of Women takes on a transatlantic dimension in this early U.S. edition. Provenance is a record of ownership or custody of a book. One could imagine Wollstonecraft's chosen title extended into A Vindication of the Rights of Woman to an Equal Education. The topic of pedagogy, and even the book's status as a U.S. edition, amplifies its significance at the University of Mary Washington. The university began as a women's teaching college in 1908. In 1944, it became the Women's College of the University of Virginia. This alliance ended after the switch to a co-ed curriculum in 1972. The university even gets its name from the mother of a national founder and the first U.S. president. In short, Mary Washington is rooted in a long tradition that crosses gender lines to validate women's role in education and as educators. Our copy came directly from the library stacks during the founding of our rare book room in 1963 and has held pride of place ever since. This and other treasures, including a 1796 British first edition of Wollstonecraft's letters written during a short residence in Sweden, Norway, and Denmark, a book that influenced Romanticism and her daughter, Mary Shelley, are available in the rare books holdings of the University of Mary Washington. If you are interested in visiting the collection as a class or for research, you may reach out to Special Collections at the contact information below. The collections are open to students and faculty via walk-in hours and by appointment. The mission of the Rare Books Division is to help the Mary Washington community find the right combination of materials to enhance the learning experience through classroom visits, instruction, and consultation. Thank you.